A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Russo brothers from his Coen brothers, also his Farrelly brothers from his Duplass brothers, his Safdies from his Wachowskis, and all of these from his Duffer brothers.
My turn?
Yeah.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace. My goodness. I kept opening my mouth to talk, and then you just kept going. And
I kept thinking of more brothers.
There's a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
There might be some you didn't even mention, honestly.
And former brothers. Yeah, I think I left out. I mean, obviously the Scott brothers, but they didn't, necessarily work together.
Yeah.
The Hughes brothers are another one. They were kind of hot in the 90s. They're doing Menace to Society and some others. I could have included them.
Lots of good brothers.
I'm sure there's a couple others.
Good brothers. I think brothers works.
Yeah, lots of good brothers.
Yeah.
There's several of these in here that whose movies I really, really, really like a lot.
I agree. Anyways, yeah. I'm Braden, the son. You are?
I am Graham. I'm the father.
Yep. How you been?
Good. Yeah, it's coming out of Thanksgiving, a great Thanksgiving with the family. Unfortunately, minus you and Nat. We missed you. You were very missed. But it was a good Thanksgiving otherwise. I say that, and I'll probably get in trouble because your grandmother, my mother, was also not there, and neither was my sister.
Can't say it was a good Thanksgiving without them.
They're going to be on
your case.
They're off in a trip to Europe, so
they can't even be mad.
It was a lot of for the adults. It was just the guys, and then all the girls, all the granddaughters.
Yeah.
So. It was solid. And then, and then my girlfriend was there, and we had a really great Thanksgiving. Fantastic food. She made an amazing charcuterie board. We made some great, we had my fried turkey. We had, your sister made some sweet potato pie and some apple pie, and we had all the sides and the fixings. It was fantastic. It was great. I loved it. I was incredibly grateful and thankful. Just like I said, the only downside was missing a few of the most important people in my life that I love. That I'm thankful for.
Yeah, wish we could have been there. We were obviously here in Vegas. We had pretty good Thanksgiving as well, but then we immediately packed up, drove 13 hours or 12 hours to New Mexico for my best friend Tyler's wedding. That went great. I was required to give a speech, which I was nervous for because I don't really like talking in front of people too much. But apparently I killed it. Everybody was laughing really hard. It's on video.
I bet. I mean, you're a professional podcaster.
If there's one thing I am, it's that. So,
you know how to bring it. So you'd say that you ate.
I ate, slayed, all those things. Yeah, it was really great.
Fire.
We had a great time, and then the 13-hour drive back because of some traffic was kind of brutal. But it is what it is.
13 hours?
Yeah, back.
That's just punishment right there. That's terrible.
Yeah.
New Mexico, you said, right? New Mexico.
Yeah, Angel Fire. Beautiful. Okay. It was actually beautiful. Like during the ceremony, there were just deer walking around, like less than 10, 15 feet behind the bride and groom. It was incredible.
That's crazy.
So cool. Anyways.
Yeah.
You want to give our huge audience a little teaser as to what we're going to be covering today?
Yeah, we've got a fun episode planned, a seasonal episode. Braden and I are both starting to get into the season. This is... it's a little faded, but it's a Coca-Cola Santa shirt, and Braden's got himself what is that? A tie? Is that a tie?
It is a tie. Yeah, a Christmas tie.
Yeah, and I even broke out the
Darth
Christmas
Vader
colored
Dodger hat.
But we're going to be talking about Christmas movie. We're going to be doing a Christmas movie draft. Is our main topic, but and we're excited about that. Braden's got some takes. I've got some takes. We're going to cover that. But we can't just talk about Christmas because something big happened. It was also Stranger Thingsgiving, to repeat the term coined, I feel like.
By us.
Did you coin it?
I've not heard anybody else.
I've not heard anyone else say it. Stranger Thingsgiving, it happened here on the podcast. And so, we were celebrating Stranger Thingsgiving here as well. So did you. So we're going to be covering Stranger Things. In fact, we're going to change the format of the podcast just a little. Normally we do our 10 and 20. This week we're going to do our 10 Stranger Things topics in 20 minutes. And then we will dive into our main topic of Christmas movie draft. Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Before we get into the 10 and 20, do you have anything high level you want to talk about in terms of the draft or anything like that? Or anything else maybe that we might have otherwise covered in the 10 and 20 that we're not going to talk about because it's not Stranger Things related?
Yeah, I'd say 10 and 20 wise, lately it's been a little weak in terms of the news. A lot of he said, she said kind of news dropping. Not super interested in covering that lately. But
I agree.
there is one thing that was being dropped all over as of the last couple hours that I do find pretty interesting. And apparently Scarlett Johansson is in final talks to join the Batman Part 2. And I want to know your thoughts on this. Okay, so that's interesting because I am not immediately excited about this. And I'm wondering why.
Well, I'm super curious about who they're going to have her play, but I've always felt like she was underrated. I think she's great as Black Widow, but I typically really like her in anything she gets a chance to do that's not. I think she's an underrated actor. Underrated in the sense that she spent a huge portion of her adult life playing one character within the superhero genre in the MCU.
Yeah.
But younger Scarlett Johansson, things like Ghost World, even later Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit.
She's in a Christmas movie, Home Alone 3,
Home
as
Alone
a child.
Yeah. We don't count that one so much. That's not really doesn't really fall into the category what I was talking about. But anyway, I just think she's underrated.
Truther?
I'm not a Home Alone 3 truther.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies to Eric Idle. But anyway, I think she's great, and I'm happy to see her doing more things, and I kind of love the idea of her being in this world and seeing what she can bring. So I'm into it. I think it's great. I will say though, oftentimes I think the thing that she's most underrated for is her comedy, and I kind of think that this is not where she's going to get a chance to show those chops off. You know?
Yeah, I mean, unless of course she's playing a specific character. But first of all, I'll say I want to clarify this happens to be dropping at the same time that news of Zoe Kravitz not returning for this film is dropping. That does not mean that Catwoman is being recast. At least I really don't think so. And I would be willing to bet a lot of money that Scarlett Johansson will be playing a completely different character, and we will be coming back to Catwoman at some point with Zoe Kravitz. But is there any chance at all you think Scarlett Johansson is playing, Dr. Harleen Quinzel?
That was actually my first thought. I feel like Matt Reeves has been pretty clear that he's not going down the Joker path.
Except for the fact that he already introduced the Joker.
Well, but it was hinted at.
He's saying he's not going to do the Joker as the main villain of the next movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get the Joker by his third movie and he's still setting things up for it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other options. It could be, I could see her as Poison Ivy. I could see her as a Barbara Gordon.
True.
Yeah, I think, and there obviously several more. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking through this list that I just pulled up of female Batman characters. There's a lot of them.
Of course, there's a ton of
them. Obviously, we really just have Catwoman and Sophia Falcone, right? That's really kind of all we have in this world. So yeah, I guess my money would be on either Talia or Harley or Poison Ivy or Barbara. Now,
so the four next most popular Batman female characters.
There's nothing
prediction
super hot about that take.
Very bold prediction.
I don't know, but I'm leaning toward Barbara.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, well, I don't know that I have a specific prediction as to who she's going to play. I'm kind of just along for the ride. And again, this is just being reported. It's not confirmed. I'm sure it won't be confirmed for quite a while, but I guess I'm here for it. You've won me over on this. I think it could be a good thing ultimately, but I think we should probably hop into our 10 and 20 Stranger Things topics.
All right, so our 10 and 20, we cover 10 topics in 20 minutes on the dot. This is everybody's favorite segment. But today we're modifying it just slightly. As I previously mentioned, this is going to be a 10 in 20 Stranger Things edition.
Let's go. You want me to
Yeah.
start off?
Sure.
So we're just going to basically be covering some thoughts on Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1. So specifically this portion, and then later down the road, maybe when the series ends, we will do a full deep dive into Stranger Things overall. But this will be specifically Volume 1 of Season 5, what just came out on Thanksgiving. And so I want to ask you right off the bat, how do you feel about the ending? And there are going to be spoilers, by the way. The ending
big spoilers.
of...
If you haven't watched Stranger Things,
then what are you doing?
5-1, you need
What
to
are you doing?
you need to skip until you have it.
So pretty much immediately, this season tells us that there's stakes by taking out, at least we think, taking out the Wheelers, the parents, Karen and Ted Wheeler, pretty brutally. And then the next episode opens with both of them being wheeled to the hospital, and it seems that neither of them are dead yet, and it doesn't really seem like they're gonna pull a they died in the hospital situation.
Wait, didn't they get slashed at the very beginning of the second episode?
What do you mean?
Like I feel like episode 1 of the season ends with the reveal that the Demogorgon is coming in to snatch Holly Wheeler. But then episode 2 picks right up there, right? And it's the Demogorgon fight, and that's where the parents get slashed. So it's actually the second episode where they get slashed up.
No, I'm pretty sure the first episode ends with Nancy seeing her mom on the ground, and the second episode starts with her being wheeled into the hospital.
Okay, that's not how I remember it.
Well, you are old.
I
You do have old man brain. Somebody let us know who's right. But regardless,
I'm pretty sure either
it's kind of
way.
cheap stakes, like right away, where they're like, these characters almost died, but we still aren't going to pull the trigger on actually killing somebody here.
Well, you know what? You bring up for me what is, I think, the one glaring problem that I had with what I otherwise thought was a really good season. The one glaring problem. I have some smaller problems as well, but it's that combination. First of all, we never got the impression until the moment where she's talking to her in the hospital and she's coming to and she's telling her that we never got the impression before that Holly had a different name than Mr. What's-It. All the kids called him Mr. What's-It.
Right.
Right. So where did Mama Wheeler get Henry's name from?
Yeah, no, this was interesting.
That threw me off.
I think it's a little weak. I think it's like somewhat implied that because she's talked to Holly so much about this, that Mr. What's-It's the name she initially gave him, but then he told her his actual name and all that different stuff. I think it's weak. I agree with you. I think there could have been a better way for us to get that reveal. Not that it was even too crazy of a reveal. We kind of called it going into it.
It wasn't. I definitely had questions the first time that we saw a shadowy figure through the window and Holly is, I'm like, oh, that's creepy as hell. Who is that?
Didn't seem like it was going to be Eddie Munson or something like that, you know?
Yeah. I didn't initially think, oh, this is Henry. But then as it went through, I was like, okay, this is going to be Henry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just felt like that. And then combining that with the lessening of the stakes for the fact that, okay, well, it turns out neither of them are dead. I mean, Daddy Wheeler looked absolutely thrashed. For him to survive that.
Her neck or her chest was like hanging off. Like, I feel like at least one of them should have died right there. Not even an in the hospital situation. I feel like Ted or Karen should have died right there, right off the bat. Tell us this is a different season. We're going darker. This is the end game. Like shit's gonna happen, you know?
Yeah, and they did go dark a couple times throughout the 4 episodes.
Yeah, of course.
But, I think this had maybe the most gruesome kill that we've ever had in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
In a later episode.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I feel like they immediately kind of told us, okay, it's, don't worry, it's not going to be too bad. Then, again, going down spoilers here, when it was implied for a moment that all these different people were in peril, and we had a last minute rescue of everybody, a psychic rescue
Yeah.
of everybody. It didn't feel as that moment didn't feel quite as powerful. The fact that they were all saved. Robin was saved. Mike is saved. They're all saved, right?
Yeah.
I didn't feel that quite as much. That moment is otherwise I think the most powerful moment of the season, but it could have been even more powerful to me had I really felt like the stakes were not clear.
If you had believed that any of them were going to die right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that to be honest, for this season to land for me, by Jan 1, there needs to be some death.
There needs to be at least a few. At least a few.
And I feel like 11 and Hop are cop-outs. If that's the only death we get, I mean, they've already killed and brought back Hop like 5 times, I feel like. They've already killed and brought back 11 like 5 times already. Like, they need to feel, like the cast needs to feel loss, true loss, right? Right even now, like Max was, it was a big deal last season. And really, ultimately, do you feel like we're not going to get Max back into Hawkins?
Right.
No,
I
don't feel that way. I'm certain she's coming back.
It's one of my issues with the show in general, but I'll touch on that later scene once we get a little further into our 10 and 20. Mm-hmm. Real quick, I do just want to say, for me, the tone of this season so far, like the feel of it, sucked me right back into what it feels like to be watching Stranger Things. Like that feeling I get when watching Stranger Things, I did get. And okay. I will say for me, and I know you disagree, but season 4 for me was by far my least favorite. And so to me, it felt like quite the course correction where I was immediately enjoying myself much more this season, even with its flaws.
It took me a full episode to feel that way.
Okay.
I have to say, and for a couple like nitpicky reasons, to be honest.
Okay.
I felt like episode 1, it took me a full episode to get over the bad wigs across the board.
I have not thought the hair's too bad this season.
I thought it was really bad across the board. And I think especially, it seems much more clear to me that everybody's wigged up this season than it did. I mean, when they were kids, they weren't wigged up. I mean, like these kids needed jobs, and they grew their hair, and they cut their hair, and they gave them all these haircuts. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown shaved her head when she was however old 11 was in season 1. These things aren't happening now. These are all actors who are trying to land careers post this. It seems to me like they're almost all wearing wigs, and I really I could feel it. I could feel that. I also really disliked the shift in Dustin's personality.
Okay. This is interesting.
Throughout. I think that there was always a beautiful optimism in the face of absolutely no reason to have it, that Dustin brought to the table. And for him to be a dick to kind of everybody, and I get Eddie died, I get that, but it just didn't feel true to me. It didn't feel true to the character. And so that bothered me.
So, okay, here's what I think about that. I think for me, the issue with that is more so the performance rather than the actual idea of it. I think that kid is so just joyful in general. It's hard to buy him this way.
He's a goofball, so he doesn't play badass well.
No, he doesn't. But I will say, story-wise, it really doesn't make sense to me. Like his idol, like his really kind of his best friend, apart from his main group, just died like in his arms, and you're talking
about Eddie though.
Eddie, but he also can't even grieve properly because the whole town believes like he was a devil worshiper.
No, I get that. But to me, his idol isn't Eddie. His idol is Steve Harrington, and has been for 4 seasons. And now he's just like, F you, Steve.
Yeah, I agree. But I think it's actually interesting. I think it's a little more complex than that. Because, yes, Steve was always his idol, but the difference between Steve and Eddie is that Eddie really made Dustin believe that he didn't need to change a single part of himself.
Right. I get it. Eddie was an outcast just like Dustin.
Yeah, so
Steve's
he
not
related
an outcast.
to Eddie and idolized Eddie in a different way. I think Eddie was almost to Dustin the perfect mentor, the perfect man to look up to, the guy to look up to. But I do agree with you. It's hard to watch our favorite duo, Steve and Dustin, going back and forth. But you know for sure we're going to get our moment where they come back together for sure, 100%, and it's going to feel good.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's dive into something else real quick.
Okay. Sure.
This was really huge for me. This is more of a nitpick, but not really. Vecna's redesign is really, really crucial for me. And part of my issue with season 4 is I had such a hard time taking Vecna seriously. The bodysuit was really goofy, I thought. He looked like the Grinch, but not green. Like the way his gut stuck out and he stood and his big old floppy feet. He looked more ridiculous to me than he did menacing. And then when Vecna steps out for the first time, very briefly, in episode 4, he is, his waist is snatched now, which is kind of funny, but really does make a difference. And he's covered in like Groot vines. He's literally darker, and the whole thing is just instantly to me 10 times more badass. He is much cooler, so much more menacing than he ever was in season 4, just based off of this redesign, in my opinion.
I'm looking at him side by side.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking at the two photos side by side, and I honestly have to say that I hadn't previously clocked this. I don't know why. I never had that same feeling that you had in season 4. It didn't bother me. He was creepy as hell. They focused mostly on his face, I feel like.
But when they don't, it dragged me right out of it.
But you're right. I had never noticed that season 4 Vecna has a dad bod.
Yeah.
And season 5 Vecna is swole as hell.
Yeah.
Who knew? It's not just that though. I mean, it's his whole face. It's his whole everything. It's cool.
Really good.
Okay, so are you pro redesign?
I am so pro redesign. I think it's the best thing they could have done for me to now care more about Vecna. Like that scene with Vecna was one of the coolest parts of the whole 4 episodes that dropped. And if he walked out looking like he did last season, I don't think it would have been.
Okay, so do you feel like the Vecna redesign needs to be explained from a plot perspective? Or are you just good with, he's been on a diet for the last...
It's easy. No, it's really easy. At the end of the last season, they burned him alive, shot him up, and he fell out of a window. And the Upside Down has been repairing him. Like, to me, that's all it needs to be. He's not been
burning calories.
He hasn't got
a Peloton.
Exactly. No, he's more integrated with the Upside Down now than he ever has been. Like he's alive because of it. So to me, it's pretty simple in that way.
Okay.
And even if that hadn't happened at the end of last season, the same reason could be true this season. Like, well, he's just more part of the Upside Down now. He's more monster than he is human.
We're pro redesign.
I am super pro redesign. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, based on your memory, last season, was Vecna using ever any group abilities? Were his vines reaching out, or was he only using
Groot abilities? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Like, from my memory, the most we got last season was a bunch of this, a bunch of reaching out.
More
and now
mind
this time, yeah. And now this time, his branches, his vines are shooting out 20 feet to grab people.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd have to go back and watch, especially that final episode of season 4, because in my head, I feel like I can see him reaching out to like grab Max from running and like grabbing her legs, but that I may just be filling in blanks at this point.
I don't think he did that. Okay. And I think this new ability that he has also gave us, as you mentioned, probably the most gruesome kill in the whole show. It literally made me jump. I was like, holy crap.
It did. It caught me off guard. Watching it, and we were like, whoa. It was solid.
Literally. That was exactly our reaction. We were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I am pro Vecna redesign. I think it's the best thing they could have done.
I like it too. Okay, so are you pro season 4 like reissue, like redo Vecna
Like
throughout season
Lucasfilm
4.
style?
Let's get Lucasfilm in there. Yeah.
No, because I don't really like the concept of that. But
It's a principle. Yeah.
I'm not really like super looking to revisit season 4 very often anyways, so
Yeah.
I don't need that to happen. It's not
Yeah,
that's not going to make me love season 4 more.
I still liked season 4. Okay,
That's
let's go to
fine.
our next topic. I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but what do you think of the relationship, the Steve and Dustin relationship where we're at now? I know I threw it out there, but
The only other thing I have to add is that I'm very much looking forward to seeing the reunion. The moment there's a shot in the trailer of them hugging and Dustin's bawling his eyes out. So like when that happens, I know it's going to be good. It's going to be powerful. My only concern is a big part of me wants Steve to die. And if Dustin loses Eddie and Steve, I think that's pretty bad. Unless for some crazy reason, and I really don't think the Duffers would do this, although I might find it kind of cool, is if Dustin and Steve went out together. But I don't see that happening. So to
why
me,
why do you want Steve to die?
because
Why
I
do you
feel
like
like it would
that's
be impactful. I feel like you mentioned, this show needs to have some impactful deaths for it to mean something when it's over. And if our whole main cast gets off scot-free by the end of it and all they have is trauma, other than and none of them are dead, I think it's a huge misstep. I think ultimately it's less important and the stakes feel way smaller in that case. So I know that Steve would be one of those characters, one of the very few characters in my mind who could die, and universally everybody would be sad.
Okay, I'm down with that.
But I don't. But
Like
now
I
I'm
said,
not sure it's going to happen.
I think there needs to be blood.
Yeah, there does.
But yeah, I mean, I guess as I said previously, the relationship bothered me, but it wasn't just their relationship. To be honest, I felt like there was an unnecessary amount of bickering across all kinds of different combinations of pairs and triads, where they just the whole group seemed to be arguing unnecessarily, considering everything that they've been through and all that they've seen. How are they not on the same page? It's kind of crazy to me. There was just a whole lot of like, I don't know. I found that consistently. What did that not bother you?
I really didn't feel that way, if I'm being honest. I think if that's true, it makes sense. I mean, they are literally in the worst position they've ever been with all of this going on. So I guess there could be high tensions there. I know between like Steve and Jonathan, there's a lot of bickering going on, but that's nothing new. That's been happening ever since they've both been, fighting for Nancy's heart. Who else has been bickering other than Dustin and Steve?
I don't know. I mean, as you're bringing it up, I can't come up with examples. I just felt like there was a lot of senseless, like, oh, we're just going to sit here, and it was a lot of it was in the car. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of Steve and Jonathan.
It's mostly that group of three
and
right
Dustin,
there. Yeah,
and all of them just nonstop. Just we do this like so many plot points revolved around who was looking out the front of the window of the car, who was moving the little thing around the antenna around the top, and they were all spent the whole time fighting. But you bring up an interesting point, because I feel like the season for me is really highlighting how weak a character they have let Jonathan Byers become.
Yeah, no, seriously.
He you're right. If
Starting
Steve
last season
died, if Steve died, if Steve died, it would be, everyone would have a reaction. If Jonathan Byers died, I don't feel like anybody would care. No. And that's a problem. And you're right. Last season, you're right. My biggest problem with last season is the whole road trip thing.
What can we do with Jonathan? Oh, just make him a stoner.
Yeah. It felt very much, like Rose and Finn going, to Macau to find a gambler, and the whole thing was just futile, right? Yeah. I didn't love it at all, and it really bothered me. And they just made Jonathan seem unnecessary. It was like, well, we need to keep him around, but we need to get him out of the way, because we have more interesting stuff to talk about, and he is bringing us down. And it continues to be the case. I think Jonathan is just like when he confronts Steve, I don't feel sympathy for Jonathan. I don't know why, but I just don't.
I don't either.
Season 1, season 2, season 3, I liked Jonathan. I was rooting for Jonathan, you know?
And now we're on Steve's side.
Yeah. And I just don't feel like this season fixed that for me with Jonathan.
Yeah. I mean, there's still time, but it's not a good start.
Yeah.
So in that case, it would be kind of too late if they did try to kill him off, which is unfortunate. And so I don't know that he's completely safe. He's one of the characters who I think could die, but I just want whoever dies for me to care a lot. I want to bring up a character that has taken the internet by storm, and that is Delightful Derek.
Delightful Derek.
Delightful Derek.
Okay.
Dude.
What are your thoughts here?
I think he's hilarious. I think initially I was not super sure if I was going to like this kid as an addition. In fact, initially...
Trumbo, right? Derek Trumbo?
Yeah, Turnbow. Yeah.
Trumbo's the writer. Sorry. Turnbow. When
they were announcing new cast members, initially I was like, this is the last season. We don't need new cast members. Like, seriously, if there's ever a season where we don't need new cast members, it's this season. And then pretty much as soon as he opened his mouth and said, "Suck my fat one," and then when his dad passed out on the floor and he just evilly laughed, he immediately won me over. I think he's hilarious. I loved the little coup he ran with all the kids, helping them escape. I thought everything having to do with Delightful Derek was really hilarious and a fun addition to the show, and he really has won the internet over immediately.
Yeah. This kid has no credits.
Really?
The outside of Stranger Things, the only other thing that shows up for him is a movie called Between the Silence from 2022, which I've never heard of. And he's listed as only one of 3 cast members in this movie. It's got to be some kind of an indie. I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, I agree. At first, my thought was that he was just disposable. But the whole... By the way, this was probably my favorite episode. The Turnbow Trap, was that what it was called?
Yeah.
The whole Great Escape thing that they did was really fantastic for me. You know, it's one of my favorite films of all time. I'm a huge John Sturges fan. And the whole Great Escape thing was fantastic. I found myself...
That's actually from episode 4. Sorry. The whole Great Escape happens. The Turnbow Trap is when they use Derek as bait for the Demogorgon.
Oh, that's the Home Alone episode.
The Home Alone
So what's the next one called? The whole thing that when they do the whole Great Escape thing with Derek, I was like, I'm watching it and I'm throwing out like lines before they happen. I'm like, yes, oh yeah, and then I'm like, I started to whistle the theme, and then they started to play the theme.
Yep. And then I also love the scene where the one girl snitches. I forget her name. Let's just say it's Laura. And as he runs to the bathroom, he turns around right before he slams the door. He's like, "Laura's a snitch," and then he slams the door shut. We laughed so hard. It was so good.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Really great.
That was a great moment.
Let's go ahead.
No, and even just the way he, like, instead of telling the kids to, he slaps them on the head with the ruler. Yeah,
so good, so good.
That was great.
Let's dive into our last few topics here, and this is kind of the meat and spoiler section of our final thoughts, at least.
We haven't spoiled it enough yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Obviously, we have all this build up to what's behind the door in the vault. What's in the vault? What is Eleven's kryptonite? What is this? I pretty much immediately had my prediction, and I was correct. Did you?
Really?
Yeah, I did.
No.
Really?
I wasn't. I even struggled to believe it. To me, that episode in Chicago, I'm not going to try and go back and remember the name of it, but that whole episode from, what was that, season 2? Season 3?
Yeah, horrible. The Lost Sister.
It was such an outlier of mediocrity that them coming back to that was absolutely the last thing I expected.
That's so interesting.
And for me, there was very little payoff for that. Like once it actually happened, I went like, okay, I sort of felt like it reeked of, you guys thought this one was shit, we're going to make it important.
Yeah.
Like it
Which
felt
works
very
sometimes.
much like them trying to rewrite the
You know,
narrative
it's
on
like
that episode.
it's like Thor: The Dark World being crucial for Avengers Endgame kind of situation, you know? Um, yeah, no, this isn't going to make me ever want to go back and watch that episode. Whenever I do my rewatch, I skip that episode because you can literally skip the episode. It's horrible. It just absolutely kills the momentum of that season. But
Yeah.
I really did believe that they were going to tie up that loose end. Um, it would be a really glaring loose end for them to leave unattended. So I really did believe that they were going to bring her back in some capacity. I just was hoping it wasn't super corny, super bad, or a way that
Well,
made me roll my eyes.
what do you
And
think? How did they do?
I think it's fine so far. Obviously, it's just been a reveal so far. We haven't spent any time with the character again or anything like that. Um, but I think I maybe trust them to make me care in a way. Again, we will see as it comes up, but I'm not like freaking out because, oh my God, eight's back. I'm not like, oh man, eight's back. I just kind of am like, okay, we're tying up this loose end. Now let's hope they tie it up in a nice way.
Yeah, but listen, the payoff, it was delivered to us as if it was this, like, I don't know, this epic payoff.
What did you think it was going to be?
I had no idea.
What else could it be?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot here. I don't know what it could have been. I'm saying, like, as they were doing it, I as an audience member was watching it going like, what are they making such a big deal about what's behind this door? What honestly could it be? When they reveal who it is, first thought was, who the hell is that? I didn't even recognize her,
Yeah.
honestly. Then they knew that we weren't going to recognize her, by the way. They had to show us flashbacks in the moment to remind us of the big reveal. No great big reveal should require that.
Yeah, no, I agree. The
If it's
flashback is too
truly
much.
a great reveal, we don't need you to hold our hands through it. You know? And they had to do that. And why? Because we've all said for several years now that was one of the weakest episodes of the entire
Not
series.
one of the
and
weakest. The weakest.
It could be the weakest. So I just found it really anticlimactic.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's touch on. Go ahead.
But that reveal versus the other
next
reveal
one?
that I think we should talk about now,
Yep.
night and day.
Night and day. So, in my opinion, I think the last 20 to 30 minutes of this episode
Yeah.
is elite Stranger Things. It's top tier Stranger Things, in my opinion. Near perfect. Any issues I have are nitpicks. And we've already touched on some of them. But the reveal that Will Byers, whether they are his own or tapping into Vecna's, has abilities. He is very similarly powered to 11. He stops the Demogorgons. You know, instead of this, it's more of a, it's an underhand grip instead of an overhand grip. And he's even able to do it from, nowhere near them. And first of all, this whole scene is incredible. The cherry on top is the freaking nosebleed that he wipes away.
That was good.
It's such a
really
good last shot.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. I don't know if you agree, but my take on this is that Will does not have powers, but that he is channeling the hive mind, that he's channeling Vecna's powers, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's why he's able to stop the Demogorgons, however many miles away they are. That's why he's able to see through the Demogorgons' eyes. Demogorgons don't even have eyes, right? He's seeing them the way that Vecna's controlling them.
Yeah.
So that's my interpretation. So I don't think if Will survives this and when it's said and done that he's still going to have these abilities. But the reveal of these abilities was so cool, super epic, and thank God he had a better haircut for it so we could actually just enjoy the moment and not all the while be thinking he looks ridiculous, because he looked actually really cool.
So for me, this is a really great rectification of how the series started. Like, there are certain books you read, there are certain films you watch, there are certain TV shows you watch that have this like incredibly powerful first impression, and sometimes it's even just like the first line. For me, a huge part of what I love about Stranger Things is just the name of the first episode of Stranger Things. Just
the vanishing of Will Byers.
Yes, so powerful, so incredible. Like seeing it on the screen before I hit play on the very first episode, I was like, okay. I'm in. I want to know. So we've come full circle now. The first episode of this volume 1 of season 5 kicks us off into a flashback of what Will was going through during that vanishing. It worked completely for me. I had no issues whatsoever. I think that the de-aging was absolutely good enough. I did not find myself questioning it. I found myself in the moment.
Good.
As this first volume went on, I also found myself really feeling like the actor and the writing were redeeming some of the things that made me less invested in Will
in the previous seasons.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I think it was less about the writing, less about the character. It was more about the performance.
Yeah, I agree.
These kids are of certain ages. They go through awkward phases. Some of them don't come out of it. Some of them in this show have not come out of it.
Agreed.
Not Will. Not
Noah Schnapp.
Noah Schnapp. Thank you. He owned the screen in volume 1 of season 5. He
Absolutely.
was fantastic. And I loved everything they did with him. I loved the painful continuation of the relationship between him and Mike. I loved everything that Robin was seeing in him and coming back to having these conversations with him and trying to help Will understand that Vecna's attention, Vecna's attack, everything that happened to him isn't his defect. In fact, he can take he has everything he needs to be more powerful than anyone else. I loved everything about what they did with Will. I think the allegory of who Will is as a character and how that relates to everything going on in the world today and everything going on in the world of Stranger Things was beautiful, and I loved it. And I thought that the ending of Will just like finding himself and, you know, just going absolute ham was it was far and away, it was one of my favorite moments of the entire Stranger Things series.
100%.
And I loved it. And congratulations, Noah, you absolutely killed it. So I think it was 100%. Fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, my opinion for a few seasons has been he only knows how to act when he is in severe pain. Like, that's what he's good at.
Yeah.
And now this season, I've bought everything. I'm like, this is good. I care like deeply about Will again for the first time since he was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. He absolutely nailed it. I was completely sold all the way through. What?
I'm looking at our notes here. And it says Will's powers / haircut.
It's huge.
This is your note. You type this in. And I know I said the wigs, but I think like there's so much more depth that we can talk about as it relates to Will, but we still wrote down haircut.
Because it's important, because at the end of the day, if all of this happens and he looks goofy as hell, it's not as impactful. Like I
get it. It's fine.
They finally gave him something to work with here. And turns out all the while his haircut has been what's been holding him back.
So, all right. Well, it's sort of a reverse Samson thing. I like it.
Exactly.
So I want to flip this. I know that's not on our list, but I'm going to flip this. I'm going to add this here. For me, I think that Millie Bobby Brown in 11 had the opposite effect on me.
This season,
I found her performance distracting. I found her costuming and her haircut I found it distracting the entire time. Particularly, though, I have to say, her performance. It almost felt to me, and I would not be surprised if it came out that they had done some kind of digital de-aging on her as well. I felt like her mouth moved in a weird way that didn't seem natural. I think there were times when it just wasn't working for me, and I don't know what that is because I have enjoyed her, not just in Stranger Things. I really like her a lot in the Enola Holmes films. I didn't see Electric City.
Don't.
So I'm not. I fair, but I really liked her in the Enola Holmes. So would you? Is the problem with Electric City her, or is it just the greater thing? Right. So I think she's a good performer. There was something about this that bothered me. And so much so that I kept like pausing it and rewatching them. Like, look at the way her lips move. They're not moving naturally. And I don't know why. I would not be the least bit surprised if we find out in a fairly short period of time that they had done some kind of digital adjusting to her face and features. Because it just didn't work for me at all. It was the opposite for me of everything that happened with Will. And no.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I felt that way in her first scene of Volume 1 where she's doing the obstacle course and all that. Like that whole sequence I found
especially then,
bad. I didn't really feel that way after that, but I do plan on rewatching Volume 1 before Volume 2 comes out just because I really enjoyed it. And so I'll be keeping an eye out for that for sure. That's interesting.
Okay.
Lastly, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we should finish up with two things. One, theories about Volume 2, but first and foremost, how do you feel about this format? This multi-volume format with individual groups of episodes, little vignettes of episodes, and then hitting, we're going with Thanksgiving, we're going with Christmas, and we're going with New Year. So we had a month to wait between 1 and 2, but then we have a week in between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And 3 will be in theaters.
Yes.
So how do you feel about what Netflix is doing here? Because this is very different from their normal model.
In this case, I like it. I don't think this will work with, all your shows or anything like that. And I don't think it worked last season. But it works this season so far for me because they went into it with the intention of releasing it like this. It ended on a note where it gave us everything we needed to be satisfied and wanting more and talking about it for weeks to come, all the way up until the next volume. So I think in this case, I'm for it. Generally speaking, I don't know that it always works, but it is working for me so far, especially just because of the way they closed it out.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought up season 4. I just had to look it up. I'd forgotten that they'd broken into 2 parts.
But they didn't make it that way. They had to do that because of pandemic stuff and all that kind of stuff.
In 22, it was 22.
I know, but you think they shot it in 22?
No. Okay, so you're saying they didn't write it that way, but they had to make it that way. They had to break it into parts.
They had to make it that way.
Because of shooting time.
So it wasn't written for us to get 4 episodes and then feel super tidied over until the next batch came out. Like it wasn't. If you were to watch wherever it ended last time, you wouldn't feel the same way you felt after this batch of episodes at all.
It looks like just over a month between volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
For season 4, I mean.
For season 4, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's working for me too. I agree. I think that this I was definitely frustrated that I didn't get more, but this felt like a season finale.
Yeah, it did.
Like it was like, "Oh crap, wow." And now I'm like, "Oh, I'm super pumped for volume 2," which, we have
season
now
6.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think it's working for me.
I want to cover just a few predictions from both of us. I'm going to, just to close this out here, I will say this. I want Steve to die. I'm not sure if he will. But if he does, I think it'll go something like this. I think there will be another situation. Jonathan and Steve got to climb the tower. Not necessarily the tower, but it's a moment where somebody has to do something. And at some point recently, Steve will have seen the ring that Jonathan has. And in that moment, decide that he's the one to make the sacrifice play, not Jonathan. I think it'll go something along those lines just to give us our final, heartbreaking, longingly looking on Nancy, Steve Harrington goodbye. I think would be really, really awesome. Again, I'm not completely sure that's going to happen, but
You're talking about the wedding ring.
The engagement ring.
Sorry. My brain was going down a different path. I was thinking the ring of power.
No.
Jonathan, he'll recognize Jonathan's ring,
Moving on from that BS. I think 11 will likely die. And if Will makes it out, I would say I'll be kind of disappointed also. I feel like it would be
if Will makes it out.
Yeah, I think it kind of I think we kind of have a little bit of a Harry Potter Voldemort situation here, where in order for Vecna to die, Will has to die.
But that's not what happened
in Harry Potter. Well, it is what happened, but he came back.
I mean, I guess
in a sense,
seems like technicality.
But if they do exactly that with Will, then I will just feel like they're ripping off Harry Potter. So I feel like Will probably needs to go. And my last little thing I'll throw out there theory wise is I think the version of Henry that we're seeing is in a way a less corrupted version of Henry. He gave Holly music, her favorite song, like with a little stereo, which I find very interesting, as music is, as far as we know, the one thing so far that are saving these kids from the Mind Flayer and Vecna. So I think that might be a little hint towards that. And ultimately, I think there may be some Vecna redemption / self-sacrifice. I don't know that I really want that. If they're going to do that, they really have to sell me on it. But I feel like we're heading in that direction.
So I feel like Will has to survive. He's not, to me, the sacrifice. But I don't know. I again, going back to what I said earlier, if it's Hopper and 11 and that's it, I'm going to be disappointed. I think we need some real stakes.
I don't think they're not going to kill Hopper.
He's the most obvious kill.
No, to me, he's the least obvious because they've already done it.
Well, that's why I think he's the most obvious, because they've been hinting at him dying forever, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And he's his character is made to die.
Yeah.
You know, he's lost his daughter, he's lost his wife. Now he's fought, like his work is done. Like even in volume 1, they gave us this moment where he's like, I'm going to go sacrifice myself. I'm loaded up with a suicide vest and I'm going to sacrifice myself.
And for a minute, I thought they were going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They've been hinting at it so much. If at the end of the day, the only other thing that would work for me is if they all die except Hopper.
I don't know. I feel like this might be a little bit too much of like a Glenn from The Walking Dead scenario where like 5 episodes before Glenn actually died, they faked us out with a death for him. So then when he actually died 5 episodes later, everybody was like, what the hell? Like, this feels really strange and horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's kind of weird to like give us fake out moments for a character just to ultimately actually kill them.
Okay.
We will see. That is for sure.
I guess we will.
We will see.
All right. Well, that was fun. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the next couple volumes. And,
me too. I'm hyped.
Yeah. And I would really like to see the finale in a theater.
Yeah, I would like to also. That'll be on New Year's Eve, so hopefully I can get some tickets to that. I don't know when they go on sale at this point.
I haven't seen anything either. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Shall we get into
our main topic?
Yeah, we're going to do a Christmas draft, Christmas movie draft, that is. And it'll be rather quick. We're only going to do 5 movies each. We had a feeling we were going to talk about Stranger Things for quite a bit more than 20 minutes.
That wasn't 20 minutes?
Just over, I think. Probably like maybe 23 or 24 minutes. or try like 45
35
minutes.
Or 45 or 55.
But
who knows?
The rules here are simple. We are going to be going back and forth in a snake draft, each taking Christmas movies that we want in our lineup, trying to form the better list. And do you want to go first or should I go first?
You've already created a little grid here. It looks like you're first.
Well, you know how easy it is to rearrange names? Just had to fill something in so you weren't like, what are these blank boxes for?
This computer in which I use.
All right, well, I will go first.
Yeah, go ahead. I think you should go first.
Right away, in the number 1 slot, I'm going to have to take my favorite Christmas movie. This is the movie that I watch Christmas morning. It's become a tradition over the last couple of years with me and my wife, and I'm going to be taking Home Alone 2 specifically.
Home Alone 2.
I am a Home Alone 2 truther. I think it is better than the first. I love them both. They're my two of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. But Home Alone 2, I don't know, it's just filled with jokes that I quote way more often, that I laugh at harder every single time.
Yeah.
I legitimately quote this movie at least once a week because there are so many jokes specifically.
Week?
Dude, there's a lot of really good ones. Whenever you throw something at somebody, you shout "suck brick." That's pretty good. If you see a hole, you look at it and go, "Wow, what a hole!" That's a pretty good one too. Lots of. I'm up here or I'm down here, you big horse's ass. So many good quotes. I love Home Alone 2. It's mine.
Okay,
not yours.
So you're of the opinion then, I assume, that Home Alone 2 is the superior film to Home Alone.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah. I was sort of hoping you might expand upon that concept.
Yeah,
not just your favorite lines of the second one, but maybe like why you feel like it's better than the first one.
I think it's better because I laugh more. I think the different scenarios we find him in are funnier. I love everything having to do with him being in the hotel and the characters that are introduced to us in the hotel. And then I love the final stand that he makes against the sticky bandits, and everything in between I think is really great. The only thing that I would have of Home Alone 1 over Home Alone 2 is the little side plot that has to do with his elderly friend. I think the old man who doesn't have a good relationship with his son is far more compelling than the pigeon lady, personally. So that would be my swap. If we could swap those two plot lines, then Home Alone 2 would be perfect in my opinion. But it is my favorite Christmas movie.
Okay. I know a lot of people feel like it's better than the first. I don't. I actually prefer Home Alone to Home Alone 2. For me, it comes down to like
you said I prefer Home Alone 2, Home Alone 2.
I Home Alone
to Home Alone 2.
Because I said Home Alone 2.
T-O. Like I got you, but it really threw me off. I prefer Home Alone 2, Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Are you agreeing with me?
2, Home Alone 2.
I think you're agreeing with me. You prefer Home Alone 2, Home Alone 2?
I think the second Home Alone, the I guess the traps, the violence, like what he puts them through, reaches a point of I don't know, just a whole WTF kind of level where it's like these two men should have died 15 times in the last 5 minutes.
You think they shouldn't have died in the first movie? What are you talking about?
No, I think it's more realistic that they didn't die. Like in the second one, he literally like there's a bomb that goes off in a guy's head in like a confined space, right? He like sticks his head in a toilet, and like napalm explodes out of this thing, and he walks
this
away.
Huge smile
he walks
on my
away
face?
with soot on his face. That's it.
This
soot.
Huge smile on my face. This is so funny to me.
I
think it is so freaking funny. The whole movie. I know it's absurd. I know it's ridiculous. They should have died so long ago. And you've heard the theory that Kevin McAllister grows up to become Jigsaw.
I have heard this. Yes,
no, dude, I love it. That's fine. Well, you can hate it, but you'd just be wrong.
It's a fitting first pick, especially considering our 10 and 20 conversation. I mean, the Duffer Brothers have said that the Turnbow Trap is in many ways inspired by Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. I just happen to personally prefer Home Alone, but I'm not going to take it in the number 2 slot.
Okay.
For me, I'm going to take something that has become, I think, the bigger tradition. In fact, today, literally, your sisters and I decorated the Christmas tree. The very first thing that your youngest sister did was turn on my first choice in the number 2 slot, Elf. And you're typing it as I'm typing it.
I typed it before you said it.
Yeah. And so I just, it's become far and away my favorite Christmas movie. I grew up on the classics. I'm a lot older than you, obviously. And your grandparents raised me on other films, which I won't name because they may come up. But somewhere along the way, Elf became it. For a long time, it was Home Alone. Home Alone had the number 1 slot for me, but as well as one other film. But now it's Elf. Elf is a film that for sure, no Christmas season goes by without me watching it at least twice.
Yeah.
And probably more. I love Elf. Again, I think it's infinitely quotable, like just nonstop.
Of course.
You know, and I'm quoting lines from tertiary characters, like taking a walk last night. I'm doing like an exercise walk, and I quoted 6 inches. You know, I'm just like every single line.
Call me an elf one more time.
Right. I saw a fantastic, I don't know, remake of that scene that people had put like Yoda in place of Peter Dinklage. And it was, it was hilarious. So anyway,
it's a great pick.
Elf,
great pick.
I think Elf is the way to go. I am going to choose another. I'm going to go a different direction here. For me, in the number 4 slot, I'm going to take a film. Sorry, in the number 3 slot. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm seeing the way you organized this. For the third pick, I'm going to take Love Actually.
Damn it. You suck.
The first time I watched this one, I sobbed so often. The Liam Neeson relationship with the stepson is just so powerful. There's so many other great scenes. I go back to Love Actually over and over and over again. I think in so many ways it's not that good of a movie, but I cannot.
Which is true.
But I cannot stop watching it. I absolutely love everything related to the making of the music video of If You Really Love Christmas.
In my fingers.
Billy Mack, right? The whole Billy Mack thing is just nonstop hilarious. And then just catches you out of nowhere for emotion and feeling.
Yeah, of course.
So again, a very flawed and troubled movie, but something that I'm going to go back to every single year without doubt.
Yeah. I'm mad because it was on my list. I was hoping to grab it in my 4 and 5 because I knew you would take it. I wasn't sure if you would grab it this early. And I'll just
I wasn't sure. I think I feel like I had to pivot because you took Home Alone 2.
Yeah, because you didn't want to grab Home Alone 1 when Home Alone 2 is already out there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just took Home Alone off the board. So
you feel like it ends up being like a franchise selection.
Yeah. 1 and 2 kind of just go hand in hand for me in a lot of ways.
It's a really great continuation of the first one. It really is. And obviously you think it's better, but even if you don't think it's better, even if you think it's 1 and then 2, it's a perfect 1-2 punch.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the 4 slot, I'm going to take something. I'm not sure. I mean, it should be on your list. It's been a topic of debate my whole life, but I obviously have to take Die Hard, the Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say it's not a Christmas movie, you can go argue with a wall because it is.
Yeah.
And I love that movie. Everything about it. I think it's actually just one of the perfect action movies. I know it's not actually perfect, but in a lot of ways it is for me. Great performances, a lot of great lines.
Yeah.
A lot of high anxiety moments. Obviously the super iconic yippee-ki-yay. So I love this movie, and I think I know that there's a really high chance you were going to try to take it, so I had to take it.
No doubt. We talked a little bit about maybe doing an underrated or unconventional Christmas movie list as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a future episode, so we might still do that. But I kind of moved this into that category, even though for you and I, it's never been a debate. It's always been Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Shut up if you don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a fantastic choice. I love it. I think it has one of the best villain performances ever. I'm really actually. Did we have him in our villain list?
He was an honorable mention.
He was an honorable mention. Yeah. Just such an amazing performance by Alan Rickman.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, by the way, that's 2 Alan Rickman films in a row that we just
that's true.
laid out. Yeah.
That's true. Well, I'll tell you,
he just became the king of Christmas.
He just did. That's true. I'll tell you, he's not on my next movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Or in my next movie. And I don't think this next movie is really in any danger of you grabbing it.
But you're going to take it now anyway.
But I'm going to take it now just in case, because if I don't get it, I would be so disappointed. This movie I saw for the first time a few years ago, and it pretty much instantly became one of my top Christmas movies, and that is Netflix's Klaus. That's Klaus.
Yeah.
I think it is just an absolutely wonderful, near perfect animated movie, let alone Christmas movie. I think it does an excellent job at making you feel all the emotions. I won't get into what it's about because I don't think too many people have seen it, but that is going to be my recommendation for anybody listening. You have to go watch this movie. It's on Netflix. It's really sweet, and if you're not at least tearing up by the end, I'm not sure that you have much of a soul.
It is surprisingly good. I agree. I have it on my list. I'm not sure it would have made it was going to make my top 5, but it is surprisingly good and rewatchable, especially considering that I feel like no one saw it.
Right.
No one talks about this film. Yeah,
I agree.
It's a really good choice on your part.
Again, like I said, I wasn't sure if you were going to take it, but I had to make sure I got it.
I probably wasn't, but it was 100% going to be on my honorable mention list. Okay. 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 I'm going to go for the number 6 pick. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go way back and grab a classic. Something that for me is, again, both insanely nostalgic, required watching for every season, but also definitely has some troubled moments in it. I'm going to go with the Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye film, White Christmas.
You do like this one.
I do. You do?
You.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. Right. I've probably forced you to watch it once or twice. To me, it's probably was the most watched Christmas film of my childhood. I think that it was always on every single year. My parents, your grandparents would always play this film. I would hear stories about Bing Crosby, stories about Rosemary Clooney, stories about Danny Kaye. There's just something about it that I really, really love and just feels like Christmas to me. I oftentimes will put this on Christmas Eve night after everybody's gone to bed, and I'll just like have it on and just like sit there, fireplace going, maybe a nice little whiskey at the end of the night, before the calm before the storm, and I'll just watch White Christmas. So I just love it. Irving Berlin soundtrack, soundtrack. And so I think that one feels right about that. Have you ever had anything approaching the connection to this film that I have?
Nope. I've only seen it like one time when I was probably like
really
13 or 14 years old.
Okay.
So I probably need to revisit, but
that was a nuanced response. I appreciate it.
Yep. Nope. All right. Okay. You got 7.
All right. I feel like I should grab another classic here. I'm going to go with A Christmas Story, Ralphie and Company. This was a film that sometime when I was maybe like between 10 and 12 years old, this just became something that played on network television as like a special event round about every Thanksgiving, I would say, and then would just continue to have like a night where you'd watch this and everybody would come together and watch it. And I don't feel like this has had the staying power and potency that many other Christmas films have. Like your sisters, for example, have zero connection to this film at all. They don't.
So that's actually what I was just about to bring up. I think that's really interesting because I grew up watching this movie constantly every year.
Yeah.
You had me dressed up like the bunny, right?
At least once, yeah.
At least once. There's pictures of it. But as I've gotten older, I've looked back at this movie and been like, do I actually like this movie? And the answer is no. Which is so interesting. And I would challenge you to find anybody near my age who actually likes this movie.
I agree. I think you're probably right. I think I wouldn't be able to find anybody that does. I think this is 100% a nostalgia selection for me.
Yeah.
But I I still stand by it, and I think that you're wrong.
I'm not, but that's okay. That's okay. Nostalgia is what's killed my draft lists in the past, so I'm a little glad you took this guy.
No doubt, you've definitely suffered from that. But I don't know. As we came into this draft, I think that I didn't necessarily expect it to make my top 10. I thought it would fall just shy, or my top 5, I guess.
Yeah.
Our top 10. I think you taking Home Alone 2 in the first slot is really effed with my whole
That's
vibe.
good.
I've
That's
been
very
able
good
to recover. Yeah.
I mean, you're doing okay so far.
Because I'm skipping Home Alone. Like, I'm actively skipping it, and that's annoying me.
Well, maybe I should just take Home Alone then, just so you really can't have it. I mean, Home Alone 1 and 2 on my list makes my list near unbeatable, if we're being
pretty
honest.
Good. And then you have Die Hard, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if our audience was voting, I think the weak spot on your list is Klaus, but
For
only
sure.
because people don't know it.
Right.
It's a really good movie.
So that's actually the dilemma I have right now, is I'm trying to decide whether I want to play this draft as my favorite Christmas movies or Christmas movies I think people will like to see on my list. Which
you have to be true
is
to
interesting.
yourself.
Yeah, I know, but I also want to win. You know, I really do. I know I was kind of just joking a minute ago. I think I am going to take Home Alone, just the first one. I think like I said, I think I'm now invincible. I think this list is going to be nearly impossible to beat. And we've already talked about it a lot. It goes hand in hand with 2, but these are 2 of the best Christmas movies ever. You know, everybody does this thing, at least you should, where as it gets closer to Christmas is when you start to watch the better Christmas movies, right? The closer and closer to Christmas you are, the better the quality the movies get.
You feel like you start with mediocre Christmas movies and you work your way up?
Yeah, unless there's like one that you're going to watch twice, right?
Okay.
But for the most part, you save the best for last when it comes to Christmas. And I literally watch Home Alone 1 and 2 the day before and the day of Christmas. Like, these are Christmas movies.
Both of them.
Yeah. Like,
have you watched any Christmas movies yet?
Yes.
This season?
We just started.
Okay.
And
you're not going to reveal which ones they are?
Well, we watched a short called An Almost Christmas Carol. And that was about 25 minutes, and it was very cute. It's on Netflix, or it's on Disney Plus, sorry. Wait, what is it on? I think it's on Disney Plus. Okay. You would like it. It's only 25 minutes. It's very cute. It's got Jim Gaffigan in it, but it's animated.
Okay.
And the other one we watched, what was the other one we watched? Oh, no, this doesn't really count. We watched A Very Jonas Christmas, which is the Jonas Brothers' new Christmas movie. It wasn't good, obviously.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
What did you expect?
Anyways.
So for me, the only one that I've watched so far was starting today, and it was Elf.
Elf, yeah. So we're right in the beginning of December.
Yeah.
But I'm going to save both Home Alone movies for Christmas Eve and Christmas. Like, that's just how it's going to work out.
You're going to save them.
Yeah, I'm going to save them. They're my favorites.
You're going to be here with me on Christmas Eve and Christmas. Were we going to squeeze these in?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done it the last few times I've been with you too.
Christmas Eve, it sounds perfect. Christmas Eve, I love it. You're
Okay.
saying you're going to watch them both days?
No. Home Alone 1, Christmas Eve. Home Alone 2, Christmas Day. Nat and I have woken up very early the last several Christmases to make sure we got to watch Home Alone 2 before we had to meet the family out for presents or breakfast or whatever we were doing.
I didn't realize that.
If we got to wake up at 5 to watch Home Alone 2, that's what we're doing.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Now, that being said, in my last slot, I have a hard time. There's lots of... Unfortunately for me, this is where we kind of fall into movies that are good, but not great.
Right. Okay.
And so there's a lot of things that could go in this slot for me.
You feel like from 8, 8's the cutoff.
Well, based on a few of your picks, I would actually say probably 6 is the cutoff. But we just got there right now because you had 2 throwaway picks. But
you're saying my 6 and 7 are throwaway picks?
In my opinion, here's the thing. Okay. Here's my hot take about Christmas movies, is that there's not that many good ones. Honestly, I think we kind of really romanticize Christmas movies in our head, and that's because the good ones are really good. and we love the feeling of Christmas. But in reality, most Christmas movies are not that good. So that's my hot take. Deal with it.
Okay.
In the 9 slot, I think I've settled. I'm going to take...
Because I have a list of like 10 or 15 more movies, several of which I feel like are super underrated.
Yeah, I have a list of... After this pick, I'll have 4 more movies on my list.
Period. Okay.
My last pick is going to be How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Specifically the live action one with Jim Carrey.
The Jim Carrey version. Okay.
I grew up on this movie.
We now have several versions.
Yeah. At my mom's house, this was one of the few DVDs I had, so I would kind of watch this movie year round, which is funny. And so I definitely grew up on it. It's a little nostalgic, but I think it kind of holds up really well. Me and Nat just watched it for the first time in a few years last year, and we were laughing the whole time. It is bizarre. It almost doesn't feel like a movie because it's so bizarre, but it's a lot of fun. Like, truly, I love this movie. I think it's really hilarious, and I always look forward to turning it on so long as I'm ready to watch something bizarre, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Carrey is... he's in his definite Jim Carrey zone.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, it's funny. I just saw a clip of him hosting Saturday Night Live sometime in the 90s, and his whole monologue is just him doing different sound bites from all of his different movies. He's just doing his characters, you know?
Yeah.
Like the whole monologue. Like, he was so over the top, and I found myself watching this clip going like, oh, I kind of hate every moment of this.
Well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is good.
It is. I agree. It's not as high up for me because of Jim Carrey, but it's kind of the perfect role for him. You know, I mean, he's very much a Dr. Seuss character. Just like that's what he is
in this context. It works really well, I believe.
Yeah. What do you feel about him? So now that you're locked, you can't really do anything. How do you feel about his Christmas Carol, the animated Christmas Carol that he voices, Scrooge?
I haven't seen it in a few years, but I did like it.
Yeah.
But the only reason I don't have it on this list, or not the only reason, but one of the reasons is that I just haven't seen it in a few years, so I don't really remember how I feel about it super recently.
Okay. All right, so there's a lot here for me to select, and I'm a little on the fence here. I feel like there's an obvious choice, but what would be an obvious choice for a lot of people is not my favorite at all. I feel like the easy pick here is Christmas Vacation, and because a lot of people just absolutely love that. I'm just okay. It's just okay to me.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I would even say I don't think it's good.
Fair. Okay, so I'm going to go with Nightmare Before Christmas as my last pick here. Little unconventional. It's Christmas and Halloween combined, obviously, but I think I still tend to watch it more at Christmas time.
Yep.
And I think it's solid. I think it works really well. It continues to work well. In fact, for me, it gets better every year. Every time I rewatch it, I think that it just makes a lot of sense to have as a Christmas movie staple. You have thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I've only seen this movie once, and it didn't really, and it was a few years ago, and it didn't really grasp me the way that, so many people love this movie so much. A lot of people would have this in their number one, and I don't know, it just didn't really draw me in very much.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah, I'm very willing to revisit it, but I would definitely not have it anywhere near my list of favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I like it in my slot. I think it's not too bad. I think why don't we run through our lists here?
Yeah, I'll do it.
And then we can talk about some. I'll throw out some honorable mentions.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just run through all 10 real quick. Okay.
Sounds good. Yep. So
our Christmas movie draft in round 1, I took Home Alone 2, my absolute favorite Christmas movie. Sorry. You then took Elf in the second pick. Then followed up by Love Actually. That one hurt me, not going to lie. In 4, I took Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie. In 5, I took a little lesser known movie called Klaus, Klaus. It's on Netflix. You have to watch it. It really is incredible. In 6, you took White Christmas, a classic movie that brings you all the nostalgia and peace before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Then you took A Christmas Story in number 7, a movie that I don't think is very good. You admitted was more nostalgic than anything. In 8, I took Home Alone. Gotta have Home Alone 1 and 2. My list is now unbeatable at this point. I then took How the Grinch Stole Christmas in number 9, the one with Jim Carrey. And you ended it up with Nightmare Before Christmas, a solid pick. One really solid list here up against a mediocre list, in my opinion.
No, I really like my list. I really like my list. Elf, Love Actually, White Christmas, A Christmas Story, and Nightmare Before Christmas. I like my list a lot. Honestly, of all the films that I watch consistently over and over again every Christmas, I got all but 2 that I wanted. The rest of my list is still consistent watching movies.
Klaus needs to be on that list.
Die Hard and Home Alone were the 2 that you got that I would have wanted.
Klaus needs to go onto that list.
Klaus is really good. I do need to rewatch it. I should watch it again.
What do you mean?
But I really liked it. I think honestly, I think last Christmas might have been the first time that I saw it.
Yeah, I think it maybe, or 2 Christmases ago. But yeah, because we were down there. But you're telling me you don't watch both Home Alones every Christmas?
I don't.
What?
That's not. Yeah, no. I think that Home Alone 2 for me is a sometimes watch. Again, like I said, I think it's slightly less good to me than the first one. It is significantly less nostalgic to me than the first one. So it's not an every season watch.
Crazy
50%, 50% of the time.
Horrible
50%.
Take.
It's
horrible
good.
Take.
It's good. For me,
Unless
it's
you're about to say 50% of the time, every time.
For me, it's really just like they took the formula, they replicated it, and they took it to 11 across the board in every possible way. And there are times when that works, and there are times when it doesn't really work for me. But it's a good movie. I think it deserves to be on our list. I don't really think it should be our number 1 draft pick, but that's just me.
But it is.
I think there are several others that should be there.
How about this?
Yeah.
In honor of Kaylin, I will just say I don't gaff. All right? I don't gaff.
You're losing me, but that's okay.
Oh, gaff. That's GAF. Give a fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
I got you.
I don't. So
you don't care that I think it's not the number 1 spot.
Yep. I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't care that you broke your elbow. So let's run through a few honorable mentions real quick. I'm going to go super fast. The ones that didn't make my list.
You only have a couple, right?
I only have 4. The ones that didn't make my list are Polar Express, The Holiday, a little lesser known animated film called Arthur Christmas, I think is really fun. And then Iron Man 3, I also think is a Christmas movie.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
Very Christmas themed.
Okay. There's a couple of the classics out there, but I honestly think like It's a Wonderful Life is a great film, and if you and Nat haven't watched it yet, you should definitely go through It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart is just phenomenal, and it'll break your heart. Have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend that one. We mentioned a couple weeks ago the Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell film Spirited. I kind of really like this one. I've watched it now 2 years in a row at Christmas time, and I have a lot of fun with it. I think
it's fun.
I think that the songs that they break into
way too much.
I don't know. I have fun with it. I think it's good. I think that the Muppet Christmas Carol is surprisingly good and watchable.
Yeah, I haven't revisited that one.
And totally worth a watch. If you haven't seen The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, also a good one.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. For some unconventional choices, Batman Returns.
Yep.
Good Christmas movie. And how about The Thing?
Ooh.
Takes place at Christmas.
You're right. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last one I'm gonna mention, there are many more that I could, but the last one I'm gonna mention is a really little seen film called A Midwinter's Tale. I think the original British title was In the Bleak Midwinter. So it sounds really uplifting, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
This is a Kenneth Branagh film. It's shot in black and white. It is it's about a production of Hamlet on Christmas Eve, which sounds it is in the film as unconventional as it sounds. I love this movie, and it 100% is a film that I watch every single Christmas season, without doubt.
Are you giving that to me
really
for
love
homework?
this. What's that? I'm not going to give it to you. Maybe later I'm going to give it to you for homework. I am going to give you a different Christmas movie for homework that I haven't mentioned yet, but I may give you a Midwinter's Tale, sorry, later on in the month. So I plan to give you Christmas movies fairly consistently as homework this month.
Sounds good. Those are pretty good lists overall. Again, I think I won this one pretty obviously, but we do have to move on to homework at some point. We're going on an hour and 25 minutes here.
This is a long episode.
This is set to be our longest one to date. At this point,
let's jump into homework as quick as we can. So I assigned you The Last of Sheila, 70s thriller. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. It is not my favorite classic that you've given me, but I did enjoy it a lot. I love a good murder mystery, so that genre is right up my alley. I had a bit of a funny experience watching it because it was not in your library, like you said. So I was watching it somewhere where I couldn't get subtitles, and then I couldn't understand anything I knew what he was saying, so we had to go back, buy it, you owe me $10, and watch it on iTunes. But now you can watch it whenever you want on iTunes also, because you can use family sharing. So you owe me $10. But I
I swear I had this in the library. No,
yeah,
really.
You don't. I did like it. I liked it a lot. And one thing, I don't know if you have ever thought this or intended for me to notice this, but the opening of this movie is very similar to the opening of Knives Out: A Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Specifically the scene where they're all heading to the dock and meeting up on the dock. Literally, it almost felt like shot for shot, beat for beat. I was like, this is just Glass Onion again. So we actually then, after that movie, started watching the Knives Out movies. We're about to finish Glass Onion here when I'm done recording, actually. So I thought that was a fun little probably place of inspiration for Rian Johnson in A Glass Onion.
Yep.
And I liked it. I give it 3.5 stars out of 10. Or out of 5, sorry. 7 out of 10.
Well, I think you underrated it a little bit, but I do agree it's not necessarily in the same school as some of the other classics I've given you. It's a bit on the campy side, but purposely so. And I really thought you'd appreciate the fact that this was an inspiration for Rian Johnson and the Knives Out films.
Yeah,
so,
I did really enjoy it. I would revisit.
Yeah, good, awesome. Okay, and you gave me Love and Monsters. I have not yet put the rating on Letterboxd, but I actually really liked this a lot.
Let's go.
I had a lot of fun with this.
Let's go. I knew it.
Yeah.
I really hoped you would.
I really liked it a lot. I thought that it was surprisingly good throughout.
Yes. Yes.
I had no connection to the main actor, really. I know you listed out his filmography in the last episode when you assigned it. I didn't have any connection to him prior to this. I thought he was funny. I feel like this was kind of a different genre version of Zombieland in some ways. It was a similar tone.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Structure. I had a lot of fun with it. Honestly, I loved it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I'd probably also give it a 3.5. Is probably the rating, but that's a pretty high rating for me
you.
for a film that
Mind you guys,
what this is. Yeah.
Mind you guys, F1 and 28 years later, he has it 3 stars, and he really likes both those movies. So 3.5 stars, I will take it.
That's
so
like hard. As you're saying
like
this, I'm like, oh my
star.
God, what am I doing? Do I really have? I don't really have F1 at 3. Do I really only have it at 3?
At least to start off with. Maybe you've amended, but at first, when we dropped our ratings, I had 4 and you had 3.
I think that both of those films went up at least half a star, if not a whole star, on rewatch, which often happens for me. But I don't think it's necessarily in the same class as either of those films. But I had a lot of fun with it.
They're different.
I had a lot of fun. I was laughing. I was enjoying it. It was good. So
I'm very glad.
A good sleeper recommendation for you.
Good.
All right. What am I watching this week?
This week, we are heading back to animation on my mission to get you to appreciate this medium, and you are going to be watching Kubo and the Two Strings. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Really fun animation, and I'm not really going to break down what it's about at all. but I think it's going to be right up your alley, honestly. I think you'll really like it, especially based on some of the animated projects I know you do like. I think this will fit nicely right in there.
Cool. It is. It's on my watch list. I'm glad you keep grabbing a lot of these that I've been wanting to see. So looking forward to it. I am going to give you a Christmas movie, a lesser known, lesser seen one. This is called Anna and the Apocalypse. This is a genre bending film. I don't know how much you know about it or not yet, but it's Christmas zombie musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Sounds
it's
good. This one is
a lot of fun.
In your iTunes library. I
This
know
one
for sure.
is in my iTunes library. You won't have to spend any additional funds on this one. So
Sounds good.
Anyway, I hope you like it, and I'm going to get you in the season. But I think based on what we've talked about, musicals, and also I know your love for zombies.
Zombies.
You're gonna have fun with this one. So
Gotta love them.
all right. So we've ranked, we've debated, we disagreed though not about who shot first. It's all just another day in the galaxy.
So whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
And until the next episode, remember that with great power comes great second breakfast. Winter is also coming, so may the Force live long and prosper with you.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
And welcome to the season.